Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to Grounded in Maine today. My name is Amy Fagan, and I have two guests today with the same mindset. This is, oh gosh, Monica. I can't even remember your last name.
O'Neil.
Monica O'Neil and Cindy Estes?
Estes, yeah.
Estes, sorry, of Rapt, and they are in Massachusetts, and they have a super cool business that is perfectly timed this conversation. They do like reusable wrapping and not using paper, which is awesome. So thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks for reaching out.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So, Rapt, tell me and tell us about Rapt, please.
So it started, should I go back to the origin
Yes, you
story?
should.
The
Please.
It's
or,
good. It's a good story.
That's what I mean. It's for me, it's about the story. Like, because you had this idea and you're like, should I do this? Should I do? Because you totally did. You were like, talk me out of it, right?
yes.
Tell me this is crazy.
So
Um,
it started 6 years ago or so,
I think
five, six,
longer,
maybe.
actually, but yeah, 10, I think.
So I've been wrapping with wrapping paper for forever. And my mother wrapped with wrapping paper and from a large family. So I've always just done that. And so, but however many years it was ago, I'm going to say six, but I was buying tons of wrapping paper at one of those big stores. And I had a cart full of wrapping paper. I'm a little OCD. Everybody had to be in a different, all my children had to be in different paper.
yeah, you can't wrap everything the
Crazy.
same.
It doesn't do that, but
Yeah, I don't have that.
Nobody likes that.
so I was, filled, the wrapping paper, the bows, the tags, and then I was at the cashier bringing up just hundreds of dollars probably of wrapping paper, and all of a sudden it just hit me that this cart of paper was going to be bags of garbage Christmas Day. Just got to celebrate Christmas, and I just looked at the cashier and I said, and again, this is a little bit rude, but I said, "This is such a waste. This is just going to be bags of garbage on the holiday morning." And do you sell reusable gift wrap? So sort of, even though I wasn't going to return, I was thinking, that would be a good solution. And she said, no, but that's a really good idea. And I went ahead with the purchase anyway, and I got in my car and I just thought, that is a really good idea, and I'm going to do it. And I thought, there's got to be a better way instead of throwing all this paper away. So I called my sister
Yeah.
first just to see, because your sister will tell you if you're crazy. I said, I have this idea of like, why are we using paper and throwing it away? And then I called Cindy, who's been my friend since our children were young and in preschool. And am I missing anything yet on the
Not
story?
yet. No.
And then I
I
just,
had a kids'
yes,
clothing line. So
That's
I've been
great.
running a for kids' clothing line for about 10 years, and I was just slowing down and shifting. And so she called to see if I was interested
beautiful clothing for
in
children.
pivoting.
Yeah, so
So yeah.
she knew all about fabric and sewing, and she was sewing, having it cut and sewn in Massachusetts,
And
and just had
wholesale
a
and
great
trade
eye
shows and
for
whatever.
putting fabrics together. So I said, "What do you think of this idea?" And she really liked it, and
Mhm.
it was literally the same day as I was at the big box store, and we kind of just chatted on the phone, and I was one of those obnoxious customers, like doing my Christmas shopping while talking on the phone about this idea. Bought all the wrong things.
That's my favorite part. She brought all the
I
wrong
bought all the
sizes.
wrong size. Goodbye. I was at the cashier, giving my credit card and just
Yeah.
chatting and totally distracted. Had to return everything the following week. But we were so excited about the idea. So we started talking, and I said, well, because Cindy's company was called Seam. It's still called Seam. You still have it, but it's not active.
No, yeah.
And so I thought we have to come up with a name that kind of goes with Seam, because I thought it could be, a good
Yeah.
pairing with Seam. So I said we have to find a four-letter word that can work with the same font, similar font that you use. So by the time I got home from shopping, Cindy and I had come up with the name.
You came up with it. I really didn't. That was definitely you.
And so
It was
we thought
great. I think
wrapped.
it's
And
fabulous. Yeah.
so anyway, so that's how that was born. And when I had talked to my sister, she thought it was a great idea. So the two of us.
Yeah.
So
And
Cindy and
then
I,
like for the next year, we would take fabric. I have
yeah,
tons of extra fabric at the house, and we'd take fabric and we would cut it, and we'd add snaps, and we'd add Velcro, and we would order whatever we could find, as you did, online to see like, what is this happening?
how do you close it? How
It
do
was
you,
just starting to happen, and like, how do you bring it, to people that are used to using regular wrapping paper and the
yes,
way they fold it and tape and ribbon and bows. And the more we explored it and looked into it, the more we realized that the old school ancient art of futoshiki in Japan was the way to go, which is literally a square of fabric. So their history is they had a square of fabric. Everybody would put their clothes in it to take it to the bathhouse, and use it as a bag. And then it evolved into using as gift wrap. And we've been told by people that grew up in Japan that now it's at a place where if I buy a certain floral, like like here's one of our florals. So if I buy this floral and I give it to you for your birthday, you hold on to it and then you wrap your a gift for me and give it back to me. So not only is the gift the exchange, this fabric becomes a special part of our interaction. So we looked at that, but futoshiki is really only in one size. And as we looked at, a gift box, like a jewelry box, and then a book, and then
The
the
Lego
Lego
sets
set.
the kids love.
We decided to expand to 4 different sizes to kind of make that easier. Otherwise, it looked very messy.
Very bulky.
Yeah, in corners, and it just looked like kind of a paper bag almost. So that was, and then we started to play with sets.
Yeah. What's interesting too, what Cindy was saying about it's just a square. I mean, when you see it, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's very stupid simple. It's just,
Yeah.
but what's interesting is I see this as sort of almost an analogy, but you take a square and you change your mindset and turn it to a diamond, and all of a sudden you have the ends to tie. We can show you in a minute how you do it, but
Yeah, we have
it's
a
like a change of
tutorial in the
mindset as well
box.
as literally a change of perspective of the fabric.
Mm.
And so
So we simplified kind of the instructions,
4
Okay.
steps.
and then those are the 4 steps.
Okay.
And that's if the presence of a square, but
Right.
it's the same with a
Well,
lot of, it's a
it
rectangle.
happens with a lot of stuff.
That
but-
circle you just showed, you're just going to.
And then as we went along, we realized, okay, so it's still, sometimes it looks better than others, but one of the things that people are used to here is a bow on top.
Yeah.
So then we started to explore using our leftover fabric. And I actually had a lot of leftover grosgrain ribbon from my kids' line. So I took some of the ribbon and then we would create what we're calling accents. Or we would take scraps from the fabric so that that wasn't going into production, and we'd create other kinds.
And so the scrap, when you have a big bolt of fabric,
this.
when you cut, you're always going to have waste. And so
Yes.
obviously the idea is sustainable, but those strips, most people just throw them away. They actually have to pay to throw them away. So what we did is we took them, and Cindy kind of worked her magic and figured out how to make this into something interesting.
Yeah.
And then when we got a little bit larger, we found a women's cooperative in New York where we had it made. And that's an interesting story, probably a whole nother podcast you could do on it. One of the women who started this sewing collaborative is teaching people newly coming to the country how to sew and be part of her business. So it's just an interesting model. And they're in New York, they're nearby.
Which feels in the same vein as sustainability, like helping people,
helping people, and then not throwing that fabric away, giving people some jobs.
Yes.
And we're also just in the United States, we're finding the fabric in the United States with American companies. So we're trying to be sustainable sort of from start to finish.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so inspiring. And I need someone to teach me how to sew.
I can do that on the side.
I have broken my sewing machine twice now, and it was new to me. Like it was new when I got it. It's something with the tension, and I do not know. If it's not a straight line, forget
Is
it.
it a fancy sewing machine? Or no, yeah, because sometimes the fancier ones are trickier. I find that I have a very simple one, but yeah. Anyway, I'll give you those tips later.
That's like, I mean, these are skills that we could really use. I mean, talk about sustainability, like being able to hem your own clothes and put patches on and stuff like that.
I agree. I
100%.
sew a button on, or or darning. Like there's so many things that I've darned and they last for a very long time after, but it was a tiny little hole that would otherwise get tossed. And
that's the idea, that things that last, like you asked, I think when you and I spoke previously about what does sustainability mean to you, and it's that things will last, that we have, limited resources, and we create things and buy things and use things that we can use over and over.
Well,
and that last, and then our children will be able to use.
And that also speaks to how we looked at, so having done the kids' clothing line, what I learned going to trade shows and selling to stores and people was they were attracted to a print. So they might see a print that they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I think that's really pretty. But you know what they buy? They buy the little black dress. They buy
something neutral
stuff. So we realized we were going to create, instead of going thematic on anything,
Yeah,
we
do
would
20
create
themes.
kind of a basic 3 neutral sets and have it work together. And then you can buy accents, right? You can buy the set that has the cool print, but it has played out for the most part.
Yeah.
Like people do tend to buy that basic set because it goes all year round. And all of a sudden,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, you can use
if
it
you have
anytime.
this silver thing, silver piece of fabric, and then you put orange on it, or you put a printed like bow on it, it looks very different. You can make it
You can
go
make it for
from
Hanukkah or Christmas or
anything.
Diwali.
You can do
Yeah.
anything with it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we've done that a lot of other fabric photoshiki, like fabric gift wrap people aren't doing. They're a little more thematic
We're not
and
doing any
printed.
fabrics with dreidels or Christmas trees
Yeah.
and bunnies, but we're taking, you can show the holiday set. It's all
Yeah,
things
well,
that
this is
work
the
for multiple holidays.
yeah.
That's the kids set, but we're just choosing greens and reds and golds and silvers and blues and plaids
Is
that
this it?
work all year
This is
round.
one of
So
them.
that, so you don't, so this is a holiday set. I mean, I don't know if you can.
So what it has is 2 smalls
Mhm.
here, and then it has 2 mediums, 2 larges, and an extra large in the back. And then these are all the little accents you can add. This we include, this is a QR card. It also has our directions. But let's say you were giving it to your friend who has no idea what they're getting and they don't know how to use it again.
Right.
You've told them how to use it, and they've got a QR to go to our site where we have a lot of tutorials on different ways.
Different shapes, different sizes.
Yes, and these are we designed gift tags.
Cindy design.
So there's like a little slit here.
Just
So
to stick on the ribbon or
yeah, so all you have to do is like shove it in and you're done. Because some gifts, you're not going to write a whole note. You just need to say, this
Yeah.
is for Susie,
And then it is paper, but we're trying to use a very small amount of paper. And as Cindy's always pointing out, you can use pencil and reuse it.
Yes.
It depends on
Which I tend to do. But
do you?
But the other thing is, once I fill it out, I've got 4 kids. Their names aren't changing. So every Christmas I save them and it's in pen, but I just use that for Tilly.
right.
And
Right.
it doesn't.
Right.
So
They don't have to save that.
yeah. So
Give it
they
back.
don't save it. I just take it back. Like they're not gonna.
Oh yeah, that's the number
all
one
in
question
my-
we
yeah.
get is, can you take it back? And we always
Yes.
say, it's really funny. We'll be at trade shows or pop-ups or trunk shows, and people will say,
What's
I'm going to
customary?
buy this, but I'm going to give it away. So more expensive than paper. And we always say, well, if you don't think the person's going to use it, you can take it back. But chances are,
Well, like your father-in-law,
my
you were like,
father-in-law,
he's never using that again.
He's older
Yeah.
and he's
Set in
man,
place.
area
Yeah.
isn't what it used to be. So I'd always take it back. But what's funny is one year my son had a big birthday, and we were in New York at a restaurant, and I brought all my presents wrapped and wrapped, and he opened them, and it's a nice party, and I just sort of secretly took it all and put it in my purse. And it was really funny because he wasn't at the time exactly our demographic. He's a 25-year-old young man, and I just, I didn't think he'd use it. And so 3 days later, he's like, Mom, what happened to the wrap? I love my present, but where's the wrap? I go, oh, sorry, James, I took it back. And then the kid used it. He goes, of course I'm going to use it. And he uses it among his friends now. It's very funny.
Well, he's a little more style focused. So like,
Yeah.
then at my house, I've got 2 boys and 2 girls, and 2 of them went up to go wrap for my birthday, which is right before Christmas. And I said to them, I was like, okay, you guys, there's the old school, wrapping paper left over up there, and it's next to the wrapped. You can use whatever you want. And they said, well, we're not going to use your wrapped, Mom, because that's yours. And so we'll just use the other. Came downstairs. It was all wrapped in the fabric and they looked at me. I was like, well, what happened? And they said, it was just easier.
It is. It's so much easier.
And that's the other thing that nobody really realizes is it's so much easier.
You don't need scissors. You don't need tape. You're not cutting anything. You just figure out the sizing and you're done. And we can show you. It's in seconds. I must have wrapped 40 presents.
It's so much faster.
In 10 minutes.
No one in my family ever asked for paper, ever uses paper anymore. They all just go up and grab it, and we all do it in like batches, going up and doing it. But it's so much easier, and that's what we're finding with our customers.
We're finding that people are using it within families. We're getting more and more larger orders, meaning this we call this the starter set that has the how many sheets are in here? 7.
Well, and this is the thing we start, like, we called our ensemble. So it's almost like a gift. If you want to give this.
Totally. Yeah.
The price point is right.
Yeah.
And so maybe for a teacher or a friend or somebody, or, I don't know, a smaller gift.
Yeah.
And we sell
Your
those.
book club, whatever.
Exactly. You could buy multiple, but it's not enough if you have a family, and it's just
So then we started to explore different ways to answer that. So then we came up with the starter set, which has the 7, and then we moved to what's called the family set, which we don't happen
I
to
didn't
have
bring
here,
with me
but
this-
it's got 18 sheets in
yeah,
it.
and it's a big basket.
And so someone with a family, that's what they want.
And we've
then
had people buy 6 family sets, and I
We
think,
have,
and they have
yeah.
very large families. And I asked someone who had ordered, one of our customers who's local, ordered again this year after she's already bought, I want to say she's bought at least 3 family sets and multiple starters and ensembles, and she's ordered again this year. And I said, are you actually using it? Because she has a very large family. I said, are you using it in house or giving it away? And she said both. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
and our idea is that it will these sheets will be in circulation, so that, as
Right.
Cindy was saying, back and forth within friend groups and book groups and sisters and brothers and family members, and that it will be in circulation, so that you,
Hopefully.
instead of having, I don't know how many wine bags people have, but I must have had 25 wine
Well,
bags
and the
at one
wine
point.
bags, right, and I have them too, but I can't use them for other
You
things.
can only use it for wine or
But we
Jenga.
can use our large
Or
wrap
dominoes.
sheet to wrap a wine bottle, and then we can also
Yes.
wrap a book, and we can wrap a game. Like you can use it for myriad other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be really cool to see how the wine bottle gets wrapped with a square. You don't have to show me today, but like
We can show
can
you whatever
show
you
you.
want, but we can also send you
website.
the links to, yeah, because we've got all the videos. So I don't know what works for you, but we could do any of it,
Yeah.
any of the above.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, I think that I don't drink wine and I don't give wine as gifts because I just don't drink wine. But
But like an olive oil
really
bottle,
pretty. Yeah. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Yes.
right? Right? A really cool olive
Yeah.
oil, a really
Yeah.
cool, like, we found this thing called Toast, which is
Oh,
Yeah.
non-alcoholic
It's
beverage. It's really
non-alcoholic.
good. It's a fermented tea. It's delicious.
It is. It's like an adult version of Martinelli's.
Oh, okay.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Isn't
sparkling.
kombucha fermented tea
Oh,
also?
yes, also, yep.
This
Okay.
one, I don't think it's kombucha though.
No, it's not kombucha.
fermented.
It's just fermented tea, and it's delicious.
Oh.
I see it
It
everywhere.
doesn't have that taste though. It doesn't have that
No, it's-
fermented taste. No,
no,
it
it
tastes more like,
And it looks sort of like champagne. So if you're a
Yeah, it does.
non-alcoholic drinker, you can just put it in a glass and feel,
yeah, no, it's great. It's great. A great addition to an event.
I totally need to go to the website and check that out because I am so in my area in Virginia, they do not recycle glass. And so I'm saving all my glass bottles and I'm cooking every
Wow.
meal. So I'm going through the olive oil and so I'm like reusing. My cousin came a couple weeks ago and she brought herself some wine and she left the bottle and I can't recycle it. So I'm like, I have been working on making some apple vinegar when I'm making applesauce or whatever, like all the scraps you can make vinegar. And so I put my apple vinegar in that wine bottle and I just labeled it. But
that's a
like,
good
I have
idea.
olive oil bottles and stuff that I have like I'm making fire cider and putting that in there because I can
Well,
use
that's a good gift, right? So now you have to wrap it.
I'm just thinking that now. I'm like, oh, I don't do that with those bottles, but
Mm-hmm.
I could.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of reuse stores around here. We have a lot of stores where you can bring your
Like
your
refill.
laundry detergent, that
Mhm.
giant jug, instead of buying another jug, just go refill it, or olive oil. We have a ton
Yeah.
of places.
Do have, yeah.
So the
I'm
same
totally
idea.
thinking of starting one.
You should.
Should, if there isn't in your area.
Yeah.
Not.
I mean, this started as just a solution to a problem that I all of a sudden realized I had. And I think a lot of businesses start that way.
It just feels so much better. It just does. But not only that, I mean, having done it for so long, again, it's easier and faster. So like it is great because you're not throwing things away, but on top of that, you saved yourself time, and over time you save yourself money.
Yes.
Because you're not going and an errand, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like you don't have another thing to do every
My
year.
friend the other night was saying she's always running out last minute to get wrapping
Yeah.
paper and tape, and
Tape.
kids are always running out last
Yeah.
minute. And it's that frantic sort of, oh, I forgot, I got the gift, but I forgot to get the
Yeah,
wrapping. But
right.
you just keep this in-house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Oh my gosh. So Rapt has been around for, I mean, so you're
I think
saying,
it's 10 years.
It
I
hasn't
actually,
been
no,
10
you
yet.
keep saying 6.
Well,
I just looked up the initial logos and it was 2014.
okay.
We
Oh,
started working on our
we should
first
celebrate
set.
an anniversary.
I'm just saying, like we started that. I've got it's in my computer as
I
like
haven't gotten the thing from LinkedIn that says
that doesn't
you're
mean
on a
we didn't
work
have
anniversary.
we didn't have a project then, and we didn't have any
yeah,
LinkedIn.
Right. But we
Yeah,
did spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. So
yeah,
yes, I guess.
we did.
that is so awesome, you
Yeah.
guys.
Mhm.
I
But we figured
love,
out, and the thing was originally oh, sorry.
no, go right ahead.
I was going to say originally we were in a few stores. We were in some museum gift shops and in the Boston area, and then some bookstores. And then the pandemic hit, so we
Yeah.
kind of pivoted. And Cindy built a really good website, and now we're pretty much all online except for pop-ups and trunk shows.
Yeah.
And so, and what's interesting is just because with Google Ads, you can spread the word. We've had sales from like 32 states so far. Like we haven't
We
had
have,
anything from
yes.
like North Dakota. So if you're out there in North Dakota, find us. But
Anything in
it's
Virginia
all
yet?
over the country. And then I think
Mhm.
because people are passing it on, the idea is sort of starting to catch on. We're with the challenges, we're building a business as well as a market because the United States, we're not really doing that here yet. We've been wrapping with wrapping paper
Yeah.
for so long. In fact, when we looked it up, Hallmark, like it was like 100 years ago, started
Yeah.
with the tissue paper in their store.
Well, and
And then-
Hallmark's doing cloth now.
And Hallmark is now doing cloth. Yeah,
So this is the thing is that what we've realized is you can buy cloth for like $5 or $7 a sheet.
Yeah.
And that's about the average of what we're selling for,
Mhm.
but we're selling in sets because, and what we're finding is, if you're buying one-offs, they're not necessarily going to go together over time, right? But if you buy a set, all of a sudden, all the presents for the birthday or the shower or the Christmas kind of look nice.
They look good. A lot of people buy more than one gift. They buy a big gift and then a little thing. And
yeah, so instead of picking away at it, we're giving you something in a
like
complete.
that set right there, you could. I mean, what
Yeah.
Cindy was just showing you, the
Yep.
silver and the.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And I think, I mean, what you were saying, Monica, I think a lot of businesses do start out of like solving a problem
Yeah,
that,
I think so
we
too.
personally have. And just, you putting that out there, other people are like, oh yeah, so much paper. We need to
Right.
do something about that. I mean,
What is we can look up, I have
It
it
was like
somewhere.
52
Do you
football
remember?
fields worth of garbage.
It's
I
insane.
mean, it's
Yeah.
insane. When you hear football field, most people know 100 yards. They know but when you
Yeah.
think of the garbage that's
In
just,
landfill.
and this is just gift wrap. This is
Mhm.
garbage.
Right.
And, a lot of it can't be recycled. We found out that,
Yes.
the sparkly, really
Right.
fun ones, those
Yeah.
especially are bad because they
The
contaminate,
laminates.
and
The
the laminates, they
laminates can't be.
contaminate the waste stream. And so,
Mhm.
regular paper can be recycled, but so just, you think, oh, put it in the recycle bin, but
Mhm.
no, not if it's got sparkles or like,
Right.
dude.
And if you're trying to make it
And
extra special, you get the sparkly.
I used to love the sparkle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Everything with glitter. But people would get so mad because it would get all over their house.
Oh yeah, the glitter did.
Yeah. Oh, for
but-
sure.
So there's just a lot of waste. And I recently did a blog on just fabric waste. That's in clothing, but so that's why we're really
Mhm.
conscious of using up the strips and trying to, use every bit of fabric that we can. We haven't been 100%, but we're
No.
pretty close. We've got
We're
a
trying.
lot of
Yeah.
a lot of strips, and Cindy's made pom-poms out of the strips, and
We're trying.
the
I mean,
women's
yeah,
collaborative.
it's not
But
100%, but
yeah.
we're trying.
But it's
I love it. I think
sure,
that's so cool.
fabric can last forever. I mean, people have clothes
Yes,
in
no,
7th grade. It
absolutely.
can last.
Yeah. And we've done the extra work of,
Yeah.
like mitering the edges and double stitching and choosing fabric that's not too thick and not too thin to tie a knot. I mean, this is, the regular one, you're tying a knot in the middle. And if you have fabric that's too thick,
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to tie that knot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're choosing fabrics that do that. We're also, because we put that double stitch line down, it holds itself better. it doesn't roll up. And if you need to wash it, you can, because we've chosen stuff that
You
you
can
can
definitely
wash.
wash it. Yep. And we're
So,
choosing fabrics that are so lightweight, like Cindy said, so that it
yeah,
ties. Like we're probably never going to use corduroy, but
you can.
it's really
You
hard to
can.
tie it. But we're also using fabrics that reverse, and sometimes reverse to the same, or sometimes reverse to a slightly lighter color.
Yeah.
So it looks really pretty when you tie it because, and especially the prints. So the one Cindy just showed you is Liberty of London. It's a beautiful, it's
Yeah.
actually a print you could use
So this
for
one's
fashion.
a Liberty of London print, as is one in there. But this is men's shirting. So I had a line, I had a connection to a woman that's another Liberty print. I had a connection to a men's shirting company, and so I reach out to them, and if they have something that, they've got 5 yards and they want to move, then often we can pick that up
Right.
and then put it depending on the weight.
Yeah.
But a lot of men's shirting is the right weight, and it's reversible.
And a lot of the reason I point out the Liberty of London because they have beautiful patterns, but also they reverse to the same pattern. We don't love when it's just a pattern and the underside is just white.
Yeah.
So it's a print when it's printed on. So we don't think it looks as good. So
Yeah.
we're trying to keep it with these beautiful elevated fabrics, but that are
Well, Liberty makes a
accessible.
beautiful cotton lawn, which
Yeah.
is this. It just the hand on it is fabulous.
And then we found seersucker because I mean I
Mhm.
love seersucker, but for
Yeah, then it's got a little texture.
birthday, and,
Yeah.
I mean it doesn't have to just be children, but it's just
But it's got, as long as you get the right one, it's got a nice weight to it. This is another men's shirting, and it's not a seersucker, but it has that feeling to it,
Yes,
and a
yeah.
very whimsical kind of like nursery. That was the other thing that we love the idea of, is giving it as a wedding shower or baby shower, because it's like starting this
Yeah.
chapter. Here's a large pack to get going.
Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, we've tried to think of along those lines, not just one off.
And we try to cover every holiday, literally, that we can think of where
Yeah.
gifts are given. So
Yeah.
that if there's some color that's associated, that we have, if you look on our website, we have a set that covers everything.
Well, we have in the past. I don't think they're all active at the moment, but the other truth is that, like, if you want to mix and match, you can take the silver and match it with red
Yeah.
and blue accent, and all of a sudden it's 4th of July, right? Or you match it with, gold and blue, and now it's Hanukkah. So you can do a lot with very in simple ways. So
oh gosh, absolutely. So what's next? Do you guys have a next? I know I was mentioning to Monica, like, are you guys going to do like online tutorials for people, like, live groups?
yeah, one thing we've talked about lately is, and you actually just touched on it in the very beginning, and that is, I've got this fabric and I want it to look cool, but I don't know how to get from here to there. And so just the idea of maybe it's live, maybe it's just, we have a lot of web videos on our YouTube site page, but maybe increasing that, leaning into that, instead of leaning into the wholesale, leaning into like, you know what? You got fabric in your house, just use it, and I'm going to show you how.
Yes.
So that's kind of our,
Yeah.
that feels like a good pivot spot for us.
I like them both, but yeah, I totally, because
Well, you can do it all together, kind of, yeah.
Because when we're in person, when we're at the trunk shows, people come up to the table and we show them how to, then we ask them, would you like to try? We always get kids who try, and everybody can do it.
But it also attracts attention. They're curious to watch. How do you do that? So, and it's incredibly simple, and they're always shocked. The other thing that we've talked about is, for the people, I would love to explore this someday. For the people that have a lot in their house, we sell it in a basket, but it would be even better to have something that, like, let's say, was a hanger that you put in the closet, right? And there's a little pocket that held all the little accents, and there's like the one for the large and the extra large.
Right. They do it for wrapping paper, right? They have those hanging things for wrapping paper.
Same idea.
You have those huge boxes,
but have it work for fabric.
Yeah. And
so
it would take up very little space.
Yes, exactly. So that would be an interesting thing to explore. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so exciting, you guys. Wow.
Would you like us to show you how it works?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a box. Why don't you, I'm going to move
We're going to need to move this back slightly back.
Let's
see if we can see
and see if I can get it. There we go.
There we are.
That's going to work. There we go.
Great. I hope you guys are watching on YouTube.
Okay, so here's a box. It's a set of beauty products, and I don't know, we would call this medium, and so we'd use our medium size. This is about maybe 8 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah.
And so this is our Liberty of London fabric, which we've had hemmed, and we have our logo sewn on the side. So we're just going to take this square and turn it on a diagonal and place the present in the middle. And again, these steps are on the QR code card that we have here. So you're just gonna put it in the middle, just bring one side up, bring it over and tuck it under, bring the opposite side over. You can either flip it over or you can roll it. So can you see? I'm gonna tip it up.
Totally.
All you're gonna do is pinch the sides, bring it up, pinch the other side, bring it up, and you're just gonna tie a knot. I mean, if you're timing me, I bet that was what, 8 seconds, maybe. I talk too much though, so it might be a lot longer. And there it is. So there's
Oh my gosh, look at how
so
pretty.
And then we zhuzh it.
You can tuck in the
Of
corner.
course.
Yeah. And then we tend to add
And
something.
then here's an accent. We call this, again, this is from the leftover fabric. This one's called a
Buttercup.
And so we can just, and I'm going underneath the knot and just
Yep.
I tie a slip knot because
I just tie a knot in a bow, and then
yeah.
You can either just tuck it in,
Oh.
leave it dangling, and you can actually with this beautiful ribbon.
So
that's
what
made
this,
in Italy.
we found this ribbon. You can do it like the old school.
With this,
Mm-hmm.
and you can make it curl.
You can make it curl.
Which I didn't know. Cindy taught me that.
Which
So there's your present, and it's all wrapped up. And then, again, Cindy mentioned, and so if you're giving it away, you can tuck this QR code just inside here so that they know what it is when they get it. And then happy birthday, Mohammed, or whoever you're giving it to. And there it is.
I love it. Oh my gosh, what a gift that would be.
So is it stupid simple or what? I mean, so easy. I shouldn't say stupid simple. It sounds
it is.
It's a knot. It's a
No,
knot.
it's really easy.
It's just, I mean, and this is the furoshiki, or furoshiki, I think is what we're saying it in English. This is the Japanese tradition. I think this is, as Cindy said,
except
we've been doing it for
they
decades.
they only sell it in one size. So you
Yeah.
can imagine, like, actually,
this
Monica
size.
can show you. If we use something that was, here's the large. If we use something a lot bigger, it doesn't work as well.
It's a little bit messy, but you can still make it work.
You can do it, but it does it's not quite as easy. So that's why we did the 3 sizes.
Sure.
And this is probably the best size in terms of size of gifts. Like, so as I said, this is probably 8 by 5, a trade paperback, even a hardcover book. People give books a ton for gifts. Those large candles, a lot of things work with the medium, but this is the large. Let me tip down a minute. Hold on. This is the large. I'm going to show you. You can make it work. You just have to. So you can
work on it.
Like, make it smaller by folding it in.
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm just taking the corners and making it slightly smaller. And then so I'll show you this, and again, you're just going to pinch the sides.
It's always
going to
the
bring
same.
it up. It's when it's a square, it's always the same. We can show you with the circle, not circle, but like a jar or a candle that doesn't have a box. And things don't need boxes. What's interesting, so I'm just tying a knot.
Yeah.
And this is the large, and look, it worked beautifully. It's just, it works. You don't need this large, but if you have, also, you have to zhuzh it, but right. And
love it.
and so, but again, if you don't have a box, like, how you buy people clothing and nothing comes with a box anymore. None of the department stores.
Well, you can show
very
her
few of them.
here.
You can
show her
take
what
a
a
pile of
circle
clothing.
does. Just
You
tip
can
it down.
take clothing, like if you're getting somebody a sweater, or if you have,
Right.
you can just put it in a pile, and it because there's no ripping, it just wraps so easily. If you tried to wrap, I mean, we've even wrapped a soccer ball we have a picture.
Oh, cool. I mean, that is true. Like things, if you're wrapping sweaters or something, you would want it to be in a box when you're using paper, because otherwise it's going to be too soft and like pokey, and it'll get holes in the paper or whatever.
Or if you have a weird shape.
I can show you so this is tea towels that I bought. And so it's just 2 tea towels. And what I would do is I'd roll them just like I would a pair of leggings for my daughter or a sweater. And then I'm going to use the same process over, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to pinch on the side. and I'm going to tie it at the top.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Some
cute.
people don't even think it needs an accent. Some of the
Right.
fabrics are so pretty and just the bow by itself, but we'd like to add them, but it's up to you.
So yeah,
All the
so
sets
you can
come with
add it
accents.
or not, but you're done. You didn't, now you've even expanded what's not being thrown away. You don't have a
Don't have a
box.
box.
You don't have tissue,
Yep.
right? So they open it and they can save that wrapping
Mhm.
and their gifts in it, and you're done. It really makes it so much easier.
I love it.
And as
Very
Cindy
cool.
pointed out, this is a large, so this is like a box that you might have a vase in,
Mhm.
winter boots, shoes.
Or like
The
a coffee table book.
extra large, maybe a winter coat. We're focusing on winter since it's about to be winter here.
Sure.
But so
Where's the
it's just
small?
it kind of works for everything. The
You can also
smaller
show,
thing.
like with paper, sometimes when you're wrapping something that's round, it's harder because it tear, like you were saying, it
Yeah.
tears, it
It
doesn't.
tears.
So with the circle
So a little
or
jewel,
a weird shape, any kind of weird shape.
weird
Let's say
shape,
it's a
yeah.
purse, right? Or some kind of funny,
Or yeah.
some kind of funny
I wrapped that rectangular
kid's
purse.
toy.
Right, a kid's toy because they have that like bumped out plastic
Anything.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They often
Exactly.
have that.
So this is our small, and again, we have a couple customers who are always like, "Oh, time to iron my Wrapped," and Cindy doesn't iron
I
anything.
never
I'm an
iron.
ironer. I love ironing. It's therapeutic for me. But
Yeah.
you don't have to iron it
Not
because
happening.
even though this is wrinkled, you're going to see that when you finish, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You don't see it. So if you have a round object, again, place it in the middle. Cindy did this one with two. I'm just going to do it with one because it's just a little easier. You're just going to grab all the ends, bring them to the top, and you're just going to cinch it. I can't remember
Mhm.
what I'm doing. Let's see. You're going to cinch it. See how you're just grabbing it, and you can just put a bow on it.
Kind of like you do with cellophane,
Oh,
around cookies.
yes.
Yep.
You
Same
cookie
idea.
exchange.
Now you're
Yeah.
talking my language. I understand that
Same
100%.
exact thing.
Do it
Yeah.
like cookies, Amy.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is we've been going to a Yankee swap with friends that we've known for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is in the beginning, well, when Cindy and I would when we first started Wrap, we didn't want to wrap and wrap
No,
because
no.
people knew it
You
was
did.
us.
I did.
Cindy
I was
did,
like,
but
I don't care. I'm using it because
I
I
didn't
don't
want
want to
people
do
to
that.
know it was
So
mine.
she wouldn't use it. And then over time,
Now
it
everybody,
wasn't just me. Over time, other people were doing it, and it
everybody,
wasn't her. It
it's
took
like
you a while
it
to
did
start
take.
doing it. And so it was really funny how,
But now
because
a majority of the people
I was
use
going to
that.
say now it's shifted from mostly paper to because you've given it, so now they held it and now they bring it
Yes.
back. It's very fun to watch. Yeah.
And here's the round present.
That's adorable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it just fits right around it. That's beautiful.
It morphs around
It's
and
soft. Yeah.
yeah.
We actually include in our sets. We don't know exactly how many people are using it, but we include a little bit of ribbon in case you do want to, go old school and just, wrap. It's this beautiful ribbon with a little
Well,
silver
not only that,
strip
the
in
other
it.
thing is every once in a while you have something large,
Yes.
just like with paper, where the edges aren't quite meeting and they might fall out. So if you take that ribbon, you can tie a little on one edge and tie a little on the other and hold them together.
Bring it together, and you can also
And
use
so
multiple
it's a
sheets.
way, yeah, it's a way to kind of like help morph the situation.
And just like paper, you know how you cut that strip of paper to cover the big box. You can do that with Wrapped.
Yeah.
With the fabric, and as Cindy said, tie it with this ribbon or
Yes.
tie it with a couple accents to keep it together.
There are different, yeah. We
You
try and
learn
keep
how
it
to-
simple because everybody wants to know how to do it straight up. They don't need the complexity
Right.
of
They
other,
don't-
but there are other like funny things you can do to change it. Like she was saying, I doubled the fabric on this thing. And anyway, so
Yeah. I think that's so awesome. I mean, I love also that you demonstrated it because it's, for some people like me, I would be like, I want to see how it works. Like, can I redo that? Can I
and
make
is it
how
as
we do
easy
it.
as they're saying, right? Like
Yeah.
that doesn't feel as easy as they're saying, but it
It's
really is.
6-year-old kids at our shows come up and they can do it. I mean, really, anybody can do it.
Yes.
As I said, maybe if you don't have the manual dexterity, it might be a little difficult, but generally most people can do it.
Sure. Wow.
A lot of
That's
people
so
say, "Oh, I
cool.
can't do that. I'm a bad rapper. Can you do it for me?" We've had a couple people reach out and say, "Can you wrap my gifts for me?" And we haven't, it's not exactly part of our business model, but every now and then we
But
have
it's so
some
easy. It takes no time.
we do it for people.
Yeah.
We've had some
Yeah, I think you've kind of taken that on a little more than I have.
I
And
just
it's like, no, figure it out.
But But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, yeah, it's very sweet. It's somebody, I mean, I definitely, it did happen, I think one time where somebody was like, can you just wrap it? Or if somebody comes to a trunk show, that's kind of part of it, is that we will wrap if they show up with a gift. We'll
Oh,
wrap it for them so they can see,
Yeah.
right? So they're buying it, but then we wrap it so they can take it home done.
clever. I mean, they could buy from another vendor
Yeah,
and
like think
over it.
about like those holiday shows,
Yep.
where there's like candles everywhere or stuff, and then they come up to us and they'll buy a box, and then we'll wrap it for them so they
Yeah.
can take it home done.
And we've had some corporate orders where the companies have
Mhm.
actually bought the smaller size and given it to all their employees. And we've had other times where they've bought individual sheets and wrapped the same present. One of
Hmm.
the companies is giving an AirPods and a book, and they
Mhm.
ordered two different sheets. And we didn't wrap it for them, they wrapped it, but we sent them a video on how to do it. And
Hmm.
their
Yeah.
team did all the wrapping. But so
Yeah.
the idea is starting to take off. But it's slow. Change is hard and
Yeah,
it comes
it's
slowly.
I
it's
think it's great that you guys include the instruction card and the QR code so that you can see it be done because for me, I mean, I think that I was talking to Monica about this. Like, I would love to be able to gift something like this, and then people would be like, "But what am I going to do with it?" Like, I know you would use it, Amy, but
well, that's how it started. Was we had a friend who said exactly that she gave it to someone who had no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
right.
So that's
And
why.
it's a learning process. You kind of just realize,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. I mean, that is the truth with business is you hear something and then you try and pivot and kind of
Yeah.
answer that next.
yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
as it is, everyone doesn't see it instantly, so it's good to have that
Yeah.
visual.
Hmm.
Very cool. My gosh, you guys, this is amazing. I'm so excited. I cannot, I like this Christmas is going to be, well, this Christmas is going to be weird, but for me. But for other people, this is such a game changer. I mean, just imagine. I mean, if everyone had wrapped and we didn't have all those bags of trash or,
Yeah.
however many bags, football field size. Oh my gosh. Um,
And
just
we
to
don't
not have
need
that
people
be.
to do it perfectly. I saw a sign,
Yes.
something on the right side of, we don't need people to do zero waste perfectly. We just need millions of people to do low waste
Yeah.
imperfectly, or at least just start.
Yep.
What's interesting with us is, and I think
It's kind of evolved
we've
for us, the other
started
stuff.
at other parts of our lives. Like
Correct.
I now have my rags next to my paper towel. 'Cause, I mean, you still need paper towel to make
Yep.
bacon, but the
I have an
rags, like
electric car now.
I started composting thanks to Cindy. We have,
Yeah. I started that too. Yeah.
and just things that you start doing differently. I started buying handkerchiefs instead of tissues. Like you start thinking differently when you start doing this. And as you said with your bottles, you saved that wine bottle and started reusing it. It's just that idea of sustainability, of just keeping in mind that resources are finite
Yes. Right. Yeah. It's true.
but it's just kind of interesting because I wouldn't have called myself. I mean, I still don't call myself a zero waster, but I wasn't as attentive
Yeah.
to it until
I
I
mean,
had.
we've gone down the rabbit hole of some zero wasters that are
Yeah.
like,
They can
this
fit
is
their
my
jar
trash.
for
My
years.
trash for a year, right? In a
And
big
we're like, yeah,
I don't think
I
I
can
can
do
do
that.
thing.
I
again.
can't.
Zero waste is nearly impossible, but low
I
waste
can't.
is
Not to do zero
attainable.
waste perfect.
Yeah.
No waste. Yeah, no
Yeah.
waste because
Right.
it's attainable. And
Yes.
so it's just been interesting, kind of our
No, it has.
evolution.
It's been cool.
Well, and then if you pick up little things like, the fabric wrapping is, it's so easy that you're just like, I wonder what else is out there, And
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of what happened with
yep,
us. Is
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
totally.
so maybe I can
That was
drive an
nothing.
electric car. It's going to be
I
okay,
still have to drive yours and try it.
So
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, you
And
see
now,
this change happening,
yeah,
and
but now I can go to LA. Like I went to visit my family in California and they were like, well, your car's gone, so you can have a pickup. I'm like, I'm not driving a pickup. So for a week with my mom. But I was able to take the electric car because I'm used to it now.
Yep.
yeah,
And they're starting to get tons of those in there, right? So you're starting to like be able to do things that you
Yeah.
didn't think about doing before.
it's not just the reusable bags because everyone seems to be doing,
Yes,
not
that's
everyone,
true.
but a
Yeah.
lot of people seem to be doing that. That's sort of how it started, actually, I think. Obviously, the
I
recycling programs,
think you're
and
right,
then it
yeah.
was like reusable bags, and then
Right.
people are really annoyed if they forget their bags. They have all these,
Mhm.
what do you need doing with all these shopping bags?
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now people, I don't know about where you are, but in Massachusetts, they charge you for a bag. It's not a lot, but
In
it's
some
5, 10
towns.
cents in some
Some
towns.
towns.
So
So
I wish they did.
Yeah, they'll charge you.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it was like that in Maine as of course as well, but here, no, they
Where
love.
were you in Maine?
I was in Brunswick, just north of Portland.
We have a place in Boothbay. That's where my husband went every year as a kid, and now we have a place where he grew up. So it's beautiful. Brunswick is great. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they are single-use plastic happy here.
Ah,
I have work to do.
it takes a while. It takes a while. And again, just a little, t small steps, right? I mean, it's hard
Yes.
to change things overnight, but just little things. And I see change everywhere I look. Don't you? I mean, I see a lot of people, the whole composting thing here has started to take off.
oh, it has. Yeah.
And I think New England's
Yeah.
somewhat slow to change, I would say.
I
I
would
mean,
say,
California
I
is
would say
probably ahead of the
California's,
rest of the
yeah.
country, but
Yeah.
um, anyway, so we think it's a great idea,
I
And
think
it's
it's a great
it's
idea.
easier too.
and it's fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, so personally, you guys, what does the word sustainability mean to you?
To me, I think it's what I was saying earlier, just thinking about things that last, thinking of being able to have resources that last, energy that lasts, that that will be able that it will be around for our children, our children's children. That's what it means to me. And so, you
I
know,
think for me, it's the small steps of darning the sweater,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of going to consignment first, of how
mhm,
do I think about things on a first step in a way that doesn't require new product
yeah.
bringing in.
Ooh, I
So
like
that's
that.
I try and do it that in just small kind of tiny steps.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, and those tiny things add up because now you have the skills to do that darning and
Oh yeah.
thrifting is and consignment stores are it's a natural process for you as opposed to, hitting the big stores online that we don't like to talk about. But
Yeah. Agreed.
And buying quality things that last
yes.
a lot and buying
Yes.
less of it rather than buying, a bunch of junk that
Yes.
is disposable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The quality of stuff you can get is insane and beautiful. It's just it just breaks my heart that so many people are going a different direction.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I want to blame it on fashion, but it's not necessarily fashion. We just fall into that. Someone says such and such is the color of the year, and everyone's like, I have to get that, and then it changes in the next season. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's a tough one for sure, and it's going to be hard to break a lot of people. But at the same time, like we just like you were saying, Monica, and I think I shared that same post just maybe Friday, we don't need a few people doing it perfectly. We need like everyone doing it imperfectly or doing something. And that's the point of this podcast. Like we can't all do everything, but we can all do something. And it's just like a
Well,
mindset. It's like
Mhm.
just putting in the effort to try something and to get creative about it. Like Wrapped. My gosh, this is it's such a game changer. I think this is hopefully a movement. Let's start a movement.
We're trying.
goodness,
We're trying, yeah, we're trying to
Yeah.
get there.
And
So
so, how can people
really
find
fun.
you guys and learn more and start training for the holidays?
I think Instagram and YouTube. We have an Instagram. I mean, all of our stuff does post on Facebook, but
And it's at Rapt, R-A-P-T, like Rapt Attention.
and all of
Rapt,
that is also linked to our
giftwrap.com. Yeah,
website. If you're purchasing the website has tutorials. It also has the link to the YouTube.
yeah.
Everything's all very integrated, so they can go wherever they're more comfortable.
Awesome. I know I'm saying like
At
everything
Rapt, gift wrap, and then
at Wrapped Gift Wrap.
and just Rapt.com
Wrapped gift wrap.
if you're online.
Wrapped gift wrap.
Right, but if you just go to Rapt, if you type in Rapt,
Sometimes,
it'll pop up.
sometimes
It depends
you
on
get
how, yeah.
something else, but wrap gift wrap should get you there.
Yeah.
WrappedGiftWrap.com, you guys, or at
Yes.
Wrapped Gift Wrap on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, super. And I'll put all that in the show notes as well for everyone because definitely check this out. We want to bulk up for the holidays. We want to get trained. Also, what I did is I went on like the Facebook Marketplace or Facebook yard sale, and
Yeah.
someone was giving away her grandmother's fabric, like her projects that she was working on.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was like, scrap fabric. There we go.
We
Absolutely.
just made a line out of old curtains. We have
Yeah.
silk curtains and taffeta curtains, and it
Well,
was a
this
bit
is
of
the
time,
fabric.
a little time.
Beautiful.
One of the
It's
fabric.
beautiful, but it had seen its day for the curtains. We trimmed off the
For its
edges,
use, yeah.
but there was still a lot left a lot of life left in the.
There was. It was
So
great. It's
I
beautiful.
love that. Is silk hard to work with though? I imagine not to
hard in that
slippery.
it wrinkles, but it's actually not as hard. This one's embroidered, so that makes it a little bit tricky, but we just love it. We think it's so beautiful.
But the accents for sure. I think that would
I
be
didn't bring
it's
any
actually
sheets
so
of the
it was two different curtains. One had the embroidery on it, and one is plaid.
like a taffeta plaid.
Yes, and the taffeta plaid, they're actually the weight it works. If it were the wrong weight, we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. But we thought, why not? It was a little bit more
worth a shot.
time because it's not a bolt of fabric someone can lay out and put in layers and then cut.
Totally.
But it was, we love it. So
Yeah, we do.
Awesome. Wow, you guys, thank you so much. This is
Thank
you.
you.
It's
It was
so
a great
exciting.
This is so fun to talk to you.
Yay. I'm so excited for whoever's getting gifts from Amy now.
Yes, just cut up your scraps into squares. That's the first step. It'll be easier to wrap with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be working on that for sure.
Well, call us if you need anything. We're here.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
We're here if you need any
Or
help.
yeah, if you have any other questions.
Sure thing. Heck yeah.